Hi, I'm Jessica Lowry, and welcome to my Week 1 Introduction to Action Research with my online introduction. A little bit about me. This is my 5th year teaching in the West Shore School District at Allen Middle School. This year, I am teaching 6th grade math and science, which means that I really can incorporate the STEM practices and STEM teaching into my everyday lessons because we go by block scheduling, which means that I have 120 minutes to teach both subjects. And it's really cool. This is my 2nd year doing this, and I can really see how many standards in math are in science and how many science standards also relate to math. So I'm excited about that. And then something else that I am involved in at school is I'm a Big Buddy co-leader. So we have 7th and 8th grade students pair up with a 6th grade student, which is their little buddy, to make them feel more comfortable in the school, make them feel like they have a friend in school, and then also to help them with academics, organization, opening their locker the first day, just because middle school is new for them. Some personal information about me. I do live in Gettysburg. I live in Gettysburg with my cat, which you can see there in the bottom right-hand corner. Her name is Captain Cuddles. She is very cuddly and fluffy, and I love her so much. The middle picture, I love to travel. This is a picture of me in Alaska at Hatcher's Pass. We went there this past summer, and it was just so much fun. And then the last thing about me is I am very close with my family. The bottom left-hand corner is a picture of my immediate family, so my mom, my dad, my brother, his wife, and then my boyfriend and I. And then the top left picture is a picture of my whole family. I'm very close with all my family, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my grandma. And we also go to Nags Head, North Carolina every summer to the beach, which we all love and enjoy so much. So to move into the questions, question 1 was about the action research process, which I have here, the 4 steps: identify an area of focus, collect data with observations, and analyze and interpret that data that you've collected, and then develop an action plan. I think step 1 and step 2 would most likely be the most difficult for me, just because identifying that area of focus, make sure it's just that specific thing that you want to gather data on and answer that question on with your students, and then collecting the data with observations. I did get a quote from Mills on page 4, and he just, I think, said it so well. In a classroom and school settings, controlling all the factors that affect the outcome of our teaching without disrupting the natural classroom environment can be difficult, which is why I think that step 1 and step 2 are going to be the hardest for me, just because when I collect all that research, making sure that I am doing it with validity and controlling all the different variables, especially with human behavior, which is so unpredictable. I just think that would be the hardest for me, in making sure that I have what I need to analyze and interpret it, where I'm also making sure that it's all focused on that area of focus, and then developing an action plan to really answer the question and not focus on like the side behaviors. So I just think the first 2 steps, without those 2, having a solid foundation to lead for your research is going to be the toughest for me. Question 2 talks about making action research a part of our daily teaching practices. What obstacles do you see with this approach, and why? I think that Mills, throughout the whole first chapter, is all talking about how we really do research every day, and we change our lesson plans and how we do things, on the spot. And that's research. We're making observations. We're seeing what works with our students and what doesn't. I just think that the whole collecting it and making sure that you're writing everything down, you're maintaining the validity of the research while you're conducting it, and you're also not disrupting the routines, procedures, class rules, expectations that you have for your students. So I'm just a little bit nervous that I'm only one person in my room with 27 kids. How am I going to make sure that everything I'm doing with my research is valid? However, I'm trying to be very positive about collecting research, and I think that Mills did a really good job in the text, and especially in the first chapter, making us feel comfortable and have a positive outlook on collecting research, and how well that when we do it correctly and when we do it in our daily teaching practices, that it can really help us with our teaching and implementing those practices that are best for our students. So I just have the 3 bullet point quotes, try and process and be convinced that the investigation of time and energy is worth the outcomes, which I think is so true. Know the action research is a process that can be undertaken without having a negative impact on your personal and professional life. Sometimes I'm at school until 7 p.m., so I think this will just fit right in with me. And then ask your professional colleagues for support with implementation. I do have a colleague coming in just to help me, which I'll talk about more in question 3. I think that I relate more to Julie Nora with the stories of the field. She didn't have the best experience, I think, with research. She just kind of joined the team. They all started out as a solid 10-person team, and then all of a sudden it was just her and another colleague, so it just went down to 2 of them. I'm kind of in the same spot. I'm on the MTSS team for my school, and I think that we're just 2 of us really put hard work into it with our 6th grade team and collecting that. And I think that the quote that she said, action research demands the skills of 2 types of professionals: teachers who work in the trenches every day, and educational researchers who can help us assess our teaching in a way that gives us meaningful information. So as I said with question 2, I am having our math coach, come in, and she's going to help me more with a student-centered learning approach, and we're going to do some research on that, collect it. She's going to help me with questioning and the formative assessment process. So I think that's why I relate to her. However, with Rebecca, I know that she enjoys research. I am a math major, so I really do like research, analyzing that data, collecting the number data. And then I think she also is a great inspiration with a large research team and her process and their story of becoming an action researcher in the classroom. So I really look forward to this class. And learning more about STEM and how this research can help me. Here are some references that I used, which was from the article and the chapter textbook, and that is the end. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.